Hey, what's shaking YouTube? Quick review on the Beretta Nano 9mm. I finally got some range time in on this pistol, and compared to the others that I carry, which is SIG 938, SIG 238, LCP, this is the latest to the collection, and I think for me this has moved to the top of the list for my concealed carry. And let me go over some things of what I've experienced with this. At first glance, when you look at it, I mean, it looks different. It looks chunky. It looks like a squatty Glock. And I agree. When I first saw it as well, I was like, man, that gun is odd looking. But really quick, I'm gonna let me get this camera working here. I want to show you some things. Here, as I pull this one out of the way, here's a 238. And if you look at it real quick, compared to this in the back, you would think immediately, you go, well, it's smaller. And that's what I thought as well. But when you start really comparing the two, it's really not. The area that'll fool you is right here, where this one looks thicker. But let's take a look at this. If I take the muzzles and put them at the very, very end, okay, I'm going to hold my finger there, and I'm going to go downwards. If you look at the beaver tail, it's pretty much back there exactly where the Nano is. Matter of fact, it sticks out even a little further. Now, obviously, if I move back to the rear side, you can see the beaver tail sticks out further, and it looks like that the Nano is larger. So once again, this is the one that I keep saying, the optical illusion. In terms of thicknesses, nothing really substantial, nothing really to say, I'm not going to get calipers out and say, oh my gosh, this one's, 0.2 larger than this, because, that doesn't really mean anything, at least it doesn't to me. If I lay it on the top, this 938, and try to get it equivalent, such as that, you can see that except for the very back side, not a big difference. In terms of height, if I lay them down flat, this is the Beretta over here, and not a whole lot of difference there. So once again, it's an optical illusion from the lines that are on this thing, that it's really not as big as it looks. It's really a very small handgun. Once again, really quick, I'm gonna make sure both of these are cleared. And I'm not really going to do a comparison between the two. I really want to focus just on this one for you guys. A really quick one. There's a lot of videos out there, but takedown is fairly easy. There's a screw. Let me get a good zoom in on that. Back out. It's right there, and it's really meant for like the end of a shell. And if you think about the slide, the trigger needs to be depressed, and you can either squeeze the trigger or push this little button that's right here, and that's kind of a decocker. And as long as the trigger's depressed, you just roll this like forward, and the back of the slide kind of moves, and that's how you break down the weapon. Pretty simple. Yeah, they remove like almost all the others. The spring pops out, the barrel pops out. I mean, nothing new there or glamorous. And then you just slide it back on in, pop the chamber, take some innocent brass, and what I'm going to show you is, see how that back is stuck out just like that? Well, as you roll it towards the direction, and the slide comes into place and locks. That doesn't bother me. Some people say, oh, I want it to be easier to break down, I want the lever slide or break down like the SIGs. Well, the reason why they did it that way is so that it's streamlined. There's nothing to catch or rub on anything in a hand or a purse, etc., in your pocket, and that's its purpose. If you need to break the gun down and clean it, just turn it with a penny. It's a little spring load in there. It's not very stiff. But anyway, let's get down to the nitty gritty. As I mentioned before, with the SIG, I had to raise my finger way up high on the trigger and be very deliberate and accurate to get this to shoot. I like the SIG. I think it just, to me, it just feels good in my hand. I love the way that it looks. Compared to the two, I think, I like the SIG in terms of how it looks for my, cosmetic preferences. But going to the range, I put about 400 through it today, and boy, was it just dead on, accurate, easy to shoot. It is a striker fire, so you've got this a much longer range. And once again, safety check, clear chamber. And so I'll show you this. It's a longer range, so you pull the trigger back, and then here's the reset. And as the slide clears, so do that again. Slide. Here's the reset coming back. Right there. There. Most of my weapons I have are a single action, and they have a very short trigger pull. And this was, well, I'll take that back. I've got a Springfield Armory that's a striker fired as well, but not in a compact. And boy, am I impressed. If this does anything like my PX Storm, I bet the more I shoot it, the smoother it's getting. And we'll see. Maybe I'll give an update on that. But man, I mean, this thing is really great. Go out there and try them. Go out there and give them a whirl. With all the Colts and Berettas and Sigs and Rugers and Smith and Wesson, the Springfield Armory, all of these. I never really thought that I'd be sort of gravitating towards a specific manufacturer, but I seem to be really leaning towards Beretta more and more. And why not? I mean, they're a good company. They've been around a long time. Very very good quality. And the one thing I've said in some of these other videos is they just don't seem to be getting a lot of the press that right now the M&P is getting, or some of the LC9 or LCPs are getting, or even some of the like 238 SIG, which I really like the 238 SIG. So with today, being in 2013, the first quarter of 2013, go out there and try to find a pistol nowadays, and they're hard to come by. I mean, you can't really find them. I got lucky to find this one. But if you see them on the shelf and it even remotely interests you, grab one, pick it up. I think it comes with a magazine with a 6 mag like this, which is low profile, which just sits up in that way. And this is, to me, it's a 7. Now, some people have been saying 8, but I've only been able to get 7 in this one, so I don't know if there's something I'm missing. But no more will go in, or it's really, really stiff. But I'm going to call it a 7 mag. And when you purchase it, comes with, the one I purchased came with both of these. Now, I think originally some of the earlier models had 2 of the 6 mags. But like I said, when I bought it, it came with one of each, an extended mag and the other. Like the LCP and the 938, to me, there's a big distinct difference when I use an extended magazine. In other words, I like it. I like it in the 238 because the pinky has a good place to rest. With this one, for some reason, it doesn't really matter to me. When I put my fingers around there, I get a good solid grip, and I think it's because it's a little wider in the back that my pinky lays here, and I've got a good overall hold of the firearm. Now with the 238, when I put my hand around it, for some reason, see this, my pinky, I've got larger hands, seems to fall off. Even with the magazine in there, it tends to not have a place to go. So when I put the pinky the extended magazine with a pinky grip on there, it feels a lot more comfortable to me. Now these 2 fingers are solid and hold on there well, but this guy floats. For some reason with this one, and I'll take the magazine out to make it apples and apples, is when I put it on there, like I said, I tend to be able to grab a little bit back here, and I don't know whether it's the shape of the handle or whatever like that. It just seems to be a little bit more solid in my hand, and it's not really larger. Like I said, I did the comparison a second ago. So has really bright sight picture on there. They are not night sights, and from what I've been experiencing is night sights really work well when they've been charged. In other words, you leave them in the light and then they charge up like anything that glows in the dark. But guess what? I mean, these are night sights here on this SIG, and unless they've been charged up, meaning under light for a while, if you ever go out there and it's dark, yeah, you really can't see them that well. So they're not much different. That's my take on it. I mean, other people may disagree, but you know, that's why we do these reviews. It's just an opinion. So you know, like I said, I'm not going to get in the breakdown of it. There's enough videos up there that I've seen that a lot of people have done a really good job at it, but it's just my spin on this thing. Do I like it? I really, really do. It is smooth. It feels good. It shoots accurately. I had a couple of failure to ejects, and after some evaluation, I blame it on range ammo. It just wasn't, you know, as range ammo can be, not the best. And one thing I learned about this guy is if it does do that, now this firearm doesn't have a locking mechanism like some of the others, like a 238, where you can just purposely latch it up there. It will go back and lock when you've got a magazine in there, but when I had the jam, the eject wouldn't come out, and the bullet was kind of stuck trying to load. So what I did was, when that was, and it was in there that way, this thing just wasn't open. And what I found is at the range, I would lay it down and just kind of, you know, had to be careful, pull it back with my fingers, such as this way, and to be able to disengage the magazine and drop it out. And then it was easy to eject the shell and you know, just kind of drop it out and put it in. That's how I found that to be. But you know, if you've been shooting long enough, you know that when you have a gun that's brand new, it's breaking in and it's trying to do its thing, and you know, find its smooth patterns as the metal starts to wear it away. And plus, range ammo doesn't surprise me, and almost all the firearms I've had have done that the first few hundred rounds, so that doesn't bother me at all. And like I said, I believe it was range ammo. But other than that, you know, when the first time I went to the range with the SIG and loaded up a magazine and put it out at 7 yards and at 10 yards and try to shoot a pattern, you know, I was all over the place. And with this Beretta, man, I was pretty spot on from the get-go. So that means a lot to me. Price, I think nowadays these things are going about 420, 430, 400, 440, depending on where you go. And just for this one as a price comparison, the SIG's going for 700. So it's almost a $300 difference between the two. And I like the SIG, but you know, I may end up selling it. Not because I hate it. It's just because I think for what I need, this is a lot better. It's also a better price point. Now, I already own both of them, so it's not as much of a choice or decision. But if I were you guys out there looking to choose a firearm, and you know, you don't have your heart set on anything, and you're like, well, I don't know what to choose, is go look at this Nano. I think you'll be impressed, and I think when you look at it, it's going to look chunkier and bigger than what it really is, but it really isn't. So anyway, hope this guys gives you you know, some ideas what to look for. Take care. Have fun shooting.